Throughout my whole life, I have been fascinated with science fiction, whether it be through movies such as Star Wars, Aliens, and Guardians of the Galaxy, or through video games such as Destiny and Halo. Part of the reason why I enjoy this genre so much is because you can tell millions of different stories in plenty of different settings and all feel different. The world building is always really good, and the most fascinating part about sci-fi. There's so much mystery and magic that you can delve into. In some science fiction media, there is an emphasis on paracausal natures, such as with the Force in Star Wars or the light/darkness in Destiny, while other sci-fi media doesn't have space magic and are more grounded, like Halo or Guardians of the Galaxy. With all that said, I've never really read any sci-fi novels or comics, as growing up I never liked to read, and my parents just simply never bought me comics. Now, I've read some Star Wars novels and Guardians of the Galaxy comics, but nothing really beyond that. In 2024, when the Rippaverse announced Zaylan What Kills Must Die will be their first cosmic story, I was very interested. However, a few weeks before Zaylan pre-orders went up, something better dropped instead. On February 10th, 2025, I got a notification on my phone from YouTube about a new video from the Rippaverse, and it was a teaser for Rippazine number 3. Holy crap, I need to see more of this. When is this dropping? Tomorrow? I went to bed and woke up the next day waiting for the trailer and Rippazine 3 to launch, and that trailer was peak.
This wasn't my idea. Hopefully the ship won't be busted when we get back. Hopefully.
Even though it wasn't a fully animated trailer like Alpha Core 1 or ISOM 2, the way the art from the book is subtly animated along with the voice acting, sound effects, and music all come together to a trailer that is on par with the fully animated ones. Another thing that this trailer does well is characterizing Felsair and setting the tone for the short story. When the pre-orders went up, I made my purchase and waited for Dirty Deeds to arrive. Dirty Deeds stands out as one of the best written material hands down. The pacing is very well, and the cuts to different members of the crew don't feel jarring. Although the story is incomplete as we skip the hard part, it doesn't feel like we're missing content or left unsatisfied compared to other short stories like Cross to Bear or Salvage. When the short stories prioritize telling a complete narrative, they show the strength and weaknesses in the author's ability to tell a story. Caro has earned my trust and confidence with how well she told the Dirty Deeds story, that any more future narratives that she chooses to write will have my full support. With regards to the plot of the book, it's pretty simple, but that isn't much of a big deal, as most of the time spent is giving each character a moment to shine and separate them from the other characters within the book. The book starts with us in the middle of a chase scene, with one half of the crew on the ground being chased while the rest are in the air waiting for their arrival. The ground crew's getaway car looks like something that you would find in Overwatch. The pursuit abruptly ends when the enemy's city becomes under siege from Twix and gang. The ground crew, knowing what the right thing to do is, turn around to help their former enemies fend off the attackers. The rest of the crew in their spaceship provide aerial coverage against the alien threat. The following pages reveal each of the characters' abilities/skills, and each one distinguishes themselves from their fellow crewmates. The ground crew is able to fend off the enemy attack while the air crew destroys the enemy flagship, which has some sort of cloning or genetic experimentation going on that could be explored further in the future. The book ends with a breakdown of what happened and a comment mentioning that they have a long way to go in their journey. Even with a simple and sweet plot, I am very satisfied with the reading, but we are not just here for the story, we are also here for the characters, which have the potential to be some of the best in the Rippaverse. From what the short stories show, Dirty Deeds seems to be more of a character-based story rather than a plot-based one. There are a total of 6-ish characters, all of them with distinct characteristics on what makes them stand out from each other. First, we have Felsair, who is probably my favorite character within the story. He just has this energy that emphasizes a very chill guy. He's a character that I can envision myself speaking with and the conversation never getting dull or boring. He is also jacked as hell and uses his 2 knives as his main weapons. The way he fights is through surprise and stealth, like a cat, which is also a neat detail seeing he's like a cat man. His mask that he wears is also cool looking as it mixes space outlaw with barbarian. My only gripe with the character is that beneath the mask, he is ugly. It looks a bit uncanny and reminds me of the movie Cats when I first saw it, but over time, his design kind of grew on me, so it's like ugly in a good way. The leader of the Dirty Deeds crew is Rinlin. She has telepathy and mind control powers. We see her mind control powers in action when she uses it to command one of the Wasp people to fight for her. I really want to see how this character grows over time and develops as a leader of this crew. She also has some other characteristics that make her stand out from the rest of the Dirty Deeds crew. Sulia is the medic of the Dirty Deeds crew. Sulia was exiled from her homeworld after killing her commanding officer, and since then has been with the Dirty Deeds crew along with her cousin Arad. Sulia has cybernetic enhancements and a suit that help enhance her duties, whether it be, fighting or nursing others to health. Her suit comes with an AI named Nurse, who helps her with her medic mode and her combat mode, switching between the two. Kind of reminds me of Cortana with the Master Chief a bit. While Sulia is swift, nimble, and precise, her cousin Arad is more of a brute with a desire for revenge. He also has an AI companion with his gear, the Singularity Sword, which fuels his desire for revenge, as it has a mind of its own and is very bloodthirsty. The Singularity Sword reminds me a lot of weapons from Destiny, which have a bad habit of being either an AI robot or a god turned into a weapon. Arad was also kicked out from his homeworld as he committed a bunch of war crimes and slayed the royal family. For right now, his only goal in life is getting revenge on his uncle for manipulating him to do the horrible things that he did. Spingy is a literal Spider-Man and was also kicked out of his home. If I had a nickel for every time a character within the Dirty Deeds crew was exiled or kicked out of their home, I'd have 3 nickels. The reason why he was kicked out of his home was because his race thought he was pretty stupid. Even though Spingy was pretty intelligent in his own right compared to his race, he's not that smart. His web-slinging abilities come in handy when trying to repair the ship or get from point A to point B really quickly. His design is also well done, as spiders are generally horrifying, so making his design cute and not scary was definitely the right call. Also, his name is literally impossible to pronounce without spending a few years studying and learning flawless Geonosian.
Say my name. You're goddamn right.
The last member of the Dirty Deeds crew is Beetles, who, in my honest opinion, I find to be the weakest character of the bunch. Primarily my issue with him is his design, as he doesn't feel like a robot and feels more like another alien. Although his quips and snarkiness to the other characters is pretty funny and make him stand out a bit, I just wish that he had more of a robot design to him, similar to K2SO or other robots in other franchises. With that being said, there is a lot of potential for good character development coming from the Dirty Deeds crew. Whether it be Arad's inner conflict with revenge or Felsair's desire for companionship with others, I believe that Carol Brown has the capability on developing and maturing these characters over time, and I'm really excited to see how these characters grow. However, let's not forget that we still have to discuss the art in this book. Let me just start off by saying I love the artwork and the art style for this book. In my opinion, I find that stylized art is better than realistic art. Characters are able to be more expressive and display a lot more emotions, and it helps make your comic book look more unique and stand out from the rest of the bunch. If I had one little nitpick, is that I find the ship to be rather bland in its design. I don't think it fits the term illegal warship that well. However, besides that nitpick, I still find the art superb. Evan went all out for the design of the characters, and honestly, I don't think any other artist can do these characters justice. The Kanan White cover doesn't fit the characters that well. And whoever did the art for the Dokuman cards for Dirty Deeds needs to be fired immediately, as it does not do these characters justice. The colors in this book are also really good and help complement the art. It is definitely a theory of mine that the colorist of this book loves the color orange, as there's pretty much orange in every single page of this book. So for any of you guys who like the color orange, you're eating good here. One thing that goes underappreciated with the artwork is how the artist conveys motion. Evan does a great job on communicating motion through his art, whether it be Felsair turning the car around or Arad slashing the sword. It stands out compared to other comic books. I definitely think that the Rippaverse should consider keeping Evan's scale and put him into other projects besides Dirty Deeds. The future of the Dirty Deeds crew is looking pretty bright. It has already been confirmed that a follow-up story is in the works, and the writer has also confirmed that she has a script in place for their next story. Whether it is a full-on series like Yaira, a limited series like Great War of Separation, or a graphic novel like Salvage or Zaylin remains to be seen. The community thoughts and sentiment behind Dirty Deeds is also pretty positive, so I'm definitely expecting either a full series or a limited one. There are countless of stories that you can tell with these characters, so only doing a limited series is a serious missed opportunity. Now, Zaylin was the other sci-fi comic that came out, and I thought it was pretty good. However, if I had to choose which one would be getting the ongoing series, it would definitely be Dirty Deeds, as I think the story would work better as an ongoing series. If you haven't already picked up Ripazine issue number 3, I strongly suggest you do so, as not only does it have Dirty Deeds, it also gives you a preview for some other Rippaverse books. There is also a Ripazine collection which acts more like an anthology book, which I also recommend. This short story means so much to me, as it reminds me a lot of sci-fi media that I grew up with. I love all the characters, the art is fantastic, and there's so much potential for a good ongoing story here that I definitely think that the possibility of us getting an ongoing story is pretty high. Did you like Dirty Deeds? If no, comment what you think could be better about the story. We want to see Caro and Evan do their best after all. This was Mr. Snail live from the Shell House, and have an awesome day.